Check. Okay, so how to fund animation and why should you fund animation at all? That's one question. I mean, let's say you have an idea for an animated series. So what? So how would you go about with it? Any suggestions from you? Yeah. Let's say you have a great idea for an animated series. Nobody has had it before. And you know that your audience would love it. How do you start with it?
Write the idea down.
Write it down. That's a good, always a good place to start. And then what? You need to think about how to get it to an audience. That's one thing. And also, so it has to be distributed somehow. And then it has to be produced one way or the other. So how about forming a company? Does that sound good? Or taking a group of friends and making maybe like a test animation. So
Really for the best to have like small group of people. If you put a company like straight away without having anything like stable at the base, it's risky.
It's risky, yes.
People should have first like a stable funding for the project before anything. Once you have the idea and once you have all of these things planned, your schedule, your budget, your idea, your how many people do you need, all the resources.
Yes.
Only after that there's
well, some people are crazy and they start just doing, but it's not always happening like that. So actually, there are several ways to handle this problem, but some of the most I mean, you could just go into crowdfunding, and I mean, you know, crowdfunding platforms, right? Let's see which are the most. We have Kickstarter. So let's see which kind of animation projects do we have there. So there's adulting. This is not an animation. Let's see, animation.
Is Kickstarter valid for like in Finland?
I think Kickstarter can be used in Finland these days. Okay, there's here's a webcomic that I'm following, Letterbox Comics, and this has now an animated pilot, or it wants to make an animated pilot, and it's got its goal, as you can see. The goal was 60,000 for the pilot, which is like probably 45 minutes long. So that gives you also a scope of budgets, like a first scope maybe. And they've got 93,000 US dollars right now, 1,000 backers, still 22 days to go. So they might get money for several episodes and not just the pilot. So here it says it's about parenting, and the characters are these funny cats. So we could look at the original comic on Webtoon. So it was first on so on its own website. Then it got taken, like here in litterboxcomics.com. Then it got taken by Webtoon. We value your privacy. I don't think so. Reject all. Okay, let's look at the latest one, Hard Pill to Swallow. So you can see there's a clear main character, this mom, and it's based on the creator's own family and her children and husband. Okay. Can you help me burrito up the kid? He needs to take his medicine. Just have a look. Oh, his mouth. It works. Okay. And for those who are backers on the Patreon site, then they get to see the bonus panel also. So let's see what is Patreon. Patreon.com, or is it said Patreon? I don't know. Techno essentials. Creators, podcasters, artists. Let's see. Okay, that's not so good. Weird. Let's see, comics. Okay, there's one comic that I also follow, Abaddon. Okay, so this could be one way of getting your animation funded, that you first create a web comic, get some like a few thousand followers, or maybe a few million, and then you start some sort of animation. There are some people who have done this pretty well, but then you need to put a lot of time and effort into marketing your product yourself, and not everybody is up to it. I might also want to show you Lackadaisy Cats, which has been around as a webcomic for a long time, and there's also books and all kinds of products, stickers, whatever. And now they are making they made a big deal out of this animated film, and they're making that into a series now. So there's mini episodes on YouTube and so on, and everything here is fan funded, so to say. So you can see Lackadaisy is also on Webtoon and everywhere. And the animated film is pretty fun to watch. There's a lot of action and comedy. anyway, so it's possible to do this, but you need to have a lot of energy, like I said, as a creator for everything else than creating the thing that you're doing. So you need to basically put your whole life into this in that case. Okay, what about going to a production company and pitching your idea there? Like, let's say, Gigglebug, where we are going. It sounds good, but there's one problem. Gigglebug has about 300 or 400 people working for them right now, and every one of them is a creative, and every one of them has lots and lots of ideas for animated series. So they have enough in-house ideas already at Gigglebug. They don't have the time to take ideas from outside. But you might want to go to work there and then pitch your idea there. They have these yearly pitches now that they do for in-house. We went there with a couple of students in the spring. So how many of you were there, by the way, at the Gigglebug pitching party? Not so many of you. Okay. Anyway, that's the problem with going to a company that makes animations. So how did Gigglebug first start? So they had this one really good idea called Gigglebug. And what they did was they started their own small company, and they went directly to Wiley with the idea, with a pitch Bible. So they had made a pitch Bible. They had about one minute of animation, I think, in the beginning. And I think I had a link here to the to Wiley somewhere, not here. Let's see. Contents of a pitch Bible. I think it was here at the pitch Bible task. There's the link. Could be less well hidden. And as this is in Finnish, let's see how Google Translate can translate this. Actually, not so bad. So here you can see that you can offer animated series for them, either for preschoolers for ages 0 to 6 or primary school age 7 to 13. And in there are still different age groups. Okay, children's supply packages is not a very good translation, but it means children's slots. So what they are looking for is stories that are either fantasy or realism. Most important thing is relatability, strong characters for all ages, memorable narrative style for the target group, and mainly series with episodes less than 10 minutes. And there's the contact person, Teija Rantala, who you can approach. Also, there are some children's content producers here in Tohloppi at Mediapolis, and they have told us, like Tuomo and me, that they want to have they want to keep the threshold low for you, so that you can, if you have great ideas, then you can contact them directly and then just meet them here, not go to Pasila, where there's the main place. And they will give you a direct advice of what works with your concept and what doesn't. So they are approachable. At least now they are. There was this one guy who's now, I think, on pension. He was a bit of a weird one, not so easy to approach, but the ones that are now there as executive producers, they are very nice. Okay, so that's one place to go. You could go, and anyway, what you need for your animated series is a distributor. And often like classic or traditional television channel is a good choice. But of course, there are also streamers like or VODs. So, well, can you name me a couple of streamers? Amazon, yes. Amazon Prime, to be more accurate. Do they have animation? How much do they have? Let's see. They don't have, I don't think they have that much animation. They have some. Netflix has a lot of animation, so does Disney. But how do you approach these? As a private person, you don't. You have to have a company, and that company usually needs to have some track record. That means then as a company, you have already made connections, because all of these people or their representatives of these companies, they come to festivals, and that's where also the producers go, and also some people who want to be producers or emerging producers, let's say. And that's exactly what the Gigglebug people did. They knew about the, well, they had a relative who was a film director, and he knew all about these places and could give them advice. And that's how they knew where to go. Also, one of them had been on my courses, I'd like to add, and I always talk about these. Anyway, I've been a couple of times in these festivals, and they are pretty good. So let's go see. I think I had the links here somewhere. Probably where it says there, where to get your animation funded. So I've got some links here for MIPCOM, Cartoon, Annecy, so or MIFA. MIFA is one of the most important animation festivals in Europe. It's usually at the time of Juhannus in Finland. Let's see, MIFA, Annecy. So that's one festival where I haven't been, and which I'm not so happy about. So it's an international animation film festival, but the MIFA is the actual market for the professionals. So let's go there. Presentation, video library, industry content, talents content. There we go. So this takes place in the city of Annecy in France. Looks nice there. And they have exhibitors, buyers, investors, and there's always pitches. And now I see there are also VR works. Nice. So this is what a pitch usually looks like. As well in MIFA as well as in the cartoon events. We'll go to the cartoon events pretty soon also. So there are 2 or 3 people presenting it. Often they are the producers. Often sometimes the original creator is there, not always. And that's the amount of people usually. Sometimes it's more than that. At the Cartoon Forum, there are different sizes of rooms, actually. Some are auditorium sized. And usually a pitch takes about 10 to 15 minutes, from which 3 minutes are about where you, well, 1 to 3 minutes are the show reel or the that you're showing that you have made about your animation project, and the rest is showing your pitch Bible and talking about it. And yeah, there are also links in Moodle to how to pitch, and we're going to talk about that later, so let's not use that much time for that now. But anyway, you can see that there are 4 categories here: short films, digital experiences, feature films, TV series, and specials. So you can go also with your feature film idea here, and even with a short animated film. But I'm now curious about what the digital experience has been and from where. You can see that these are all from Europe. Staggering. Let's see, Kazakhstan and Estonia. Well, Estonia is pretty near, close. So let's see what do you do on a sleepless night on a train? A VR adventure about a strange railway journey. Okay. Origin of blindness. Okay, so let's get into the TV series and specials, because that's our actual topic now. And I think because I rejected all the cookies at the beginning, it's not showing the images to me now. Okay, so which one should I click here? Now you can see that there are also other continents: Brazil, another from Brazil, Australia, India, China. Lee's ABC book to the world of Chinese poem. Okay, this sounds very educational. Let's see if it's also boring. So it says that it's 32 minutes. It doesn't seem to be a series, but by the way, interesting. 2D computer, drawing on paper. This is what they are telling about the creators, but we can't see anything else. But well, there's one sentence about it, what it's about. A Chinese cat and his friends create a different little story to get into the world of poems through the changing seasons. Okay. Flesh. Okay. Right. Doesn't sound like something for kids. Young adults and adults, yes. Okay, so that was MIFA. And here you can also see what they are saying. MIFA pitches make room for diversity and offer an eclectic selection, whether geographical, artistic, or technical. That's good that they say it, because France used to be like a citadel for male animation. It wasn't long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when one very well-known French animation director and producer said to the press that women are not talented enough to do animation or something similar. And the prestigious animation schools in France, which are the best in the world, by the way, they have for a long time they have been very like not very nice to women students. I hope that has changed also now. But let's go to Cartoon Forum and other cartoon happenings. Cartoon is an organization. I think they are based in Belgium, which is also one of the like big important places where animations are made. In general, France and Belgium together maybe with the Netherlands are forming this kind of triangle for animation where the funding is very secure. French and Belgian animation has a lot of funding from the state, and I mean there has been a big crisis in making television shows in the last year or so, and it's been also a crisis in animation. I have to be honest with that. But I recently read an interview from a French producer who made animations, and she said that the crisis hasn't touched France or Belgium that much. So because their funding is so secure. So if you know French producers, then or more, maybe even more importantly, you speak French, then you have a good chance to get well connected in the cartoon events and also in the MIFA. What I've noticed being in the cartoon events is that the French people, they have their own little group or groups, and then the German-speaking ones, they mingle often. But the German-speaking ones, they also mingle with the English-speaking ones. So there's more of an entryway that way if you don't happen to speak French. I happen to speak German pretty well, so I have had no problem going into those circles again. Deny all cookies. I always do that. Okay, let's see. The next thing to come along in the cartoon events is Cartoon Forum, which is their most well-known event. But there are other ones. There's also, so Cartoon Forum, as you can see, is for animated TV series projects. That's the deadline for submitting your series concept is in at the end of May usually, or also partly at the beginning of June. You have to check every year when it is. And you don't necessarily need to have a company, but that also varies in different years. But it's pretty easy in Finland to form your own company, like a toiminimi. What's that in English, by the way? Toiminimi. Let's see, mikä on toiminimi englanniksi? Sole trader, trade name, okay. So it's a company, but it's an actual company that you can form in Finland without having much of funding or anything. But as students, I would not recommend you to make a toiminimi unless you have a stable funding for your studies from somewhere else. And because the minute that you form a company, then Kela doesn't want to give you any student money, I think. You have to check that. And that's why we have these osuuskunta, these cooperatives here in at the TAMK, which you can use for as a proxy company if you want to. Okay, back to Cartoon Forum and Cartoon Movie. So Cartoon Movie is usually in Bordeaux. Cartoon Forum is usually in Toulouse. And as the name says, movie is for movies, for feature projects. But then there are other ones that could be of interest to you, especially this Cartoon Springboard, because it's for young talents. So meaning under 35-year-olds, I think. We can check. That's always in October. A pitching event for young talents of European animation schools. And since we have animation studies here, we our students are can apply there, of course. So there are 214 projects have been pitched in the 9 years, and over 60 projects are those are in active development, which is pretty good actually. So and 13 TV series released. So not all the series that get into development are actually ever released, and not all of the projects that are pitched are going into development. I mean, there are lots of good projects that never get to go into development. That's why it's not good to be a one idea person. So always have like a dozen ideas. If one doesn't go through for some reason or for just bad luck, then always have something else to throw out. Okay, so check the toolbox, project 2, submission. And every year some Finnish students also are pitching here. And I think one of our recent alumni is right now has submitted their project here. I don't know if she got it through or not. She started developing it during her studies, and then she also made it into her thesis work. Anyway, let's see, what do they want to? Check who can submit and which project and regulations. Check what document you will need. Regulations. Young talents who are currently students or have graduated from animation or audiovisual schools for a maximum of 5 years. Graduation date in summer 2019 or after. And of course, this changes every year. And all the big distributors are coming here, and also the streamers. Disney will be there, Amazon will be there, France Television, Arte, all the big channels. Also the Americans will be there to listen to these pitches. And that's why people go here. Also, big production companies will be there to pick up the projects that might interest them. So here we can see which projects can be submitted. This is, here you can also pitch a feature film and an animated project dedicated to multi-platforms, which I was kind of talking earlier, that you have a web comic, for instance, or a comic book series, or maybe a series of children's books. And short films are not accepted. So cartoon is not for that. And you have to be from one of these countries, either from EU countries or these ones that are not in the European Union, but are somehow otherwise involved in European animations. And UK is not a part of the eligible countries, but Ireland is, of course. Here we go. So this is what they want. Prepare all the required elements. Cover page, note of intent or concept. Description of main characters, treatment, extensive description of the story, nice stills, one square still, one horizontal still. So not too much materials. This is less materials actually than what's needed for cartoon forum. Okay, let's go see cartoon forum. And now I'm interested to show you who is there, like the buyers, like the people with the money. Because that's what this is all about, where to find the funding. So going here to these places is really important. And now it's not showing me the buyers for some reason. Oh yes, now it's showing it. So who do we have? Here's everybody. So we have investors, publishers, broadcasters, and game companies. So some of the investors are also people from production companies or production companies. Animation. So let's take the investors first. So yes, there are companies that specialize in investing in other companies. They are also called sometimes VC companies, or sometimes business angels. And it's so believe it or not, there are people with too much money lying around, and they want to invest it to smaller companies, and then they may or may not get their money back. When with animation, you usually don't get your money back, but Some people are there only just for the fun. Okay, so here are some public places like Centre National du Cinéma et de l'Image Animée. So the French, I guess it's the French Film Foundation. We could check. Reinforce French creativity. So don't go to these people unless you are French. So you can see that there are lots of people from there because they are also funding cartoon itself. And like I said earlier, they have deep pockets. Then there's something called DRAC, Occitanie. Sounds also very French, or maybe, oh yes, it's French. Ministry of Culture in Occitanie. Okay. And there are more. There's the Estonian Film Institute, Film Fund Luxembourg. So you can see there are lots of film foundations here. And we'll go to the Finnish Film Foundation pages next. Hasbro. So you might know Hasbro as a producer of toys. And I mean, that's also really important to know that. And probably you know it already if you have been to McDonald's, for instance, when you were a kid. So many of the Happy Meal toys were also connected to some animated series. Or you might have bought, or your parents might have bought you a Remy plush toy that's connected to the Disney film Ratatouille. So Disney has done this merchandising since the 1920s. So merchandising, toys, or all kinds of physical things are really important in connection with animated series. And you might want to make a plan for that already when you're making your concept of your series. Okay, Hasbro is of course a global toy company. So they also sometimes put money in animated series. Okay, Peyo's family member. So the Smurfs, you know? So he has money, it seems. Do we have? Okay, Media One is pretty well known also. Also France, European independent multi-genre studio, Media One. Netherlands Film Fund, Monster Entertainment. These people are from Ireland. Ireland is a very good place for animation, a very good one. They have these tax rebates also. So you might want to do some co-productions with Irish companies. We have more French people, lots of French people. There's some Italians, Toscana Film Commission. Okay, there's Toon Animation, which is a software company. Wallonie, so now we have Brussels, and some Germans also, WDR Media Group and ZDF Studios. So ZDF is one of the big television channels in Germany. WDR also, of course.
step on that.
Okay, that was the investors. So let's see the broadcasters. So we have Arte, Austrian Broadcasting Corp or ORF, BBC Children's. They are very nice people usually. Canal Plus, also a French channel. Croatian television. Okay, he looks like he was surprised that his picture was taken. And there are people from Disney, as you can see now. Let's see if we have anybody from Finland. Well, Vicky Schroederus, of course. She's in all of these. So Vicky is not a person you want to go to because she's a buyer of content from elsewhere than Finland. But she's a nice person in general. Okay. We have Hessischer Rundfunk, Kinderkanal or Kika, that's also from Germany. They are buying a lot. So it's the joint children's channel from ARD and ZDF. We have Latvian television. There's somebody from Netflix coming. Norway, Norddeutscher Rundfunk. Slovenia, Radio Televisione Italiana. I mean, the Italians are, we don't know about it, but Italians actually do make a lot of animations. There's Sveriges Television, several people from there. Super RTL. There's more people from Disney. Vice President, International Animation, Disney branded television. Let's see what it says about it. So he's for the platform Disney Plus. So this is the place where you get to know these people from the television channels and also from the streamers and from other people who are funding animation. In other words, animation is funded from several places. So it's very uncommon for one animated series to be funded by only one place. Yeah.
So is this cartoon for more like for kids shows? Because like most were like representatives of like.
Well, most animation is for kids.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, that's true. But like, is there?
Yes, there is. I can show you. Here's the Discover the projects. I wanted to go there anyway, and this is also what you can use when for your analysis task to check things that are in content in development. I mean, and also for the concepting task. So here you can see the how these are divided. We have preschool 2 to 4, upper preschool 5 to 6. This is new, this bridge, children 5 to 7, because then there is children 6 to 9. As you can see, there is overlap. Children 9 to 11 is tweens or also preteens, teenagers 12 to 15. Then there's family and young adults. Let's see what we've got for young adults. So some are very dark, but as you can see, there are not so many young adults shows. a couple of years ago, there was a boom of young adults and adults animation on Netflix, and most of them were also pretty good, as I'm certain that you know. But I'm sad to say that now Netflix is not so into animation anymore. So these animated shows didn't get as much of an audience than they were expecting to get. And that's why the best bet, if you want to make an animated series and get it funded, is to make it for children. But as I said earlier, children are not just simple adults. Often they want to have more complicated content than grown-ups. So let's see how many preschool series there are. Not that many for 2 to 4. There you can see that we have our first hybrid series with a live action character. And in your analysis task, you can also, if you want to, you can analyze the visuals in general, like is it like appropriate for that age group, for instance? Bobby and the Bottle Brigade. So if I click one of these, let's say, which one should I take? No pets, or is one mindfulness? Then we get to find out more. And we can see that it's a TV series, 10 episodes, 25 minutes, pretty long. 2D computer animation. It comes from Italy. Okay, that was a good question. Are there other questions right now on your mind? So one thing has to be said, that you have to, before you can apply to Cartoon Forum, you have to have one distributor somehow involved, not at least with a letter of intent, which doesn't give them any. Well, they don't have to do anything, but they want to say that yes, we are interested about this, and usually that distributor is a television channel in your own country. And if you're living in Finland, then the place to go would be Yle. To the other cartoon events, to Cartoon Springboard, for instance, you don't need to have that. But for Cartoon Forum, you need a letter of intent from a distributor. The same goes for Cartoon Movie. But as I said, Yle is very open about students coming to them and pitching their animated series ideas. Okay, so let's see. Before we go to the YLE page or Yle page, let's see the Finnish Film Foundation, because that's one place where to go to get your animated series funded. Like I said earlier, film foundations. And also, so not all the money comes from one place, like I've said earlier already. Okay, let's go to the English pages. Okay, why is the web so slow today? I don't know. Okay, funding, how to apply, support card, application deadlines, and I still need to go to the Finnish side to get the because this is the most interesting one, like tukipäätökset, like who have they funded before? And luckily it's open information. So let's see, I have a couple of animations that I want to check actually. Let's see, Feeling Good is a Finnish company started by Juha Fiilin, who I know. And he got through to YLE with his Divine Consultants, which was originally just it was an animated comic. And he got it through into Yle Areena, so on the web site. And it's clearly for young adults and adults content. So it's not a children's animation. And I think the first episodes or the first short season came out in 2019. And after that, Juha Fiilin wanted to make a actual animation, not just an animated comic. And he went to apply money from the Finnish Film Foundation. And this is what he has got so far for. And so you can see that it's also changing a little bit. So the first, the name of it was Divine Consultants. You can find it on Yle Areena, I think. Then it became Joy Eternal. So first he got production money. I think that was, and that was 120,000. I guess that was for the animated comic actually, but it goes with the name of the animated series here. Then he got 10,000 euros for kulttuuriviennin hanketuki. That means he got 10,000 euros for marketing and marketing it. Basically, it's for going to festivals. So he was in all the festivals just before COVID came, and just also when just after it. Okay, then he has another project that he's been. Okay, I can see, yeah. Devil gives an idealistic teenager the power to create a new world. Now everyone is literally held hostage by monstrous incarnations of his terrible ideas in Earth 2.0. Okay. As I said, it's always good to have more than one project. But he has also got more production money for Joy Eternal. What a weird sum. So usually they are not this weird. And he has a third one, Thinkies. Also not bad. So 18,000, that means it's for basically script writing and making the pitch Bible. Okay, let's have another case example. Which one? That could be monkey business. So how many of you know Herra Hakkarainen by Mauri Kunnas? Quite many, yes. I'll show him to you. Oh, come on. Herra Hakkarainen. So he's a character from the children's books by Mauri Kunnas. And he has his own house. Was it in Orivesi or somewhere? And there's plush toys, and there's candy and all kinds of stuff. I think there's also a game, or at least a mobile game. So he's a guy who constantly sleeps and does weird things while he sleeps. And there was an idea that he could be made into a feature film. And let's see, in English, he's called Mr. Clutterbuck. And the main producer is Petteri Pasanen, who was one of the founders of Anima Vitae, which is now Anima, where we are going to probably go on the 27th. Anyway, Petteri has now his own company, or his new own company, like Monkey Business, and he wants to make this. But Monkey Business does other things as well. And he got 60,000 euros for developing it, basically for visualizing the characters, making the pitch bibles, and writing the script for the feature. But nothing more. So it's also typical. Not everything goes further than the development stage. Let's take one more, because this is coming to the movie theaters in a couple of weeks, so you might be interested. Niko ja myrskyporot. There we go. Got it? Myrskypo. Okay, this is a feature film. Let's see. Niko myrskyporojen arvoitus. I think you can find a trailer already on Finkino about it. There we go. How many of you have seen previous Niko films? Okay, so I think this is the third Niko film. And since it's a well-known brand, so they thought, okay, let's make a third one, which was, I think, a wise decision. And it's about this reindeer boy who grows up in each and has these, well, problems. So first they've got some money for developing it, of course. Pretty much a lot of money, actually, to more than 200,000, 230,000 euros for developing. Then they got into the actual producing stage. Then they got 780,000. And now it's in the marketing stage, and it's got 120,000 euros for marketing in Finland. So, but it got a little bit over 1 million euros from the Finnish Film Foundation, which is nice, but not everything. But because usually these movies cost from 3 to 15,000 euros or more. So Finnish animated series as well as Finnish features are done in a very small budget. So a Finnish animated feature might cost 3 million to 5 million euros, which is like peanuts in international terms. Also, the first Gigglebug series was made for, was it maybe 120 20,000 euros or less. And also and it was funded all by YLE. So part of the funding comes from the Film Foundation, part of it comes from the distributor, which might be YLE or it might be another Finnish distributor, and then it gets money from international distribution. It usually goes one continent at a time. So you might get distribution in South America, and then you get this and that kind of sum from there. Or you might get that much from the Middle Eastern countries, or from Asia, or from, well, China is so big that if you get it there, then, well, good for you. I know people, Finnish producers who have got their animated series through in China, so that they also started Finnish preschools in China related to that series, and a fashion brand, and all kinds of things. So it was a weird story, but interesting.
You know which show?
No, I don't remember, but I can check it.
Yeah.
It was for very small children, under 5-year-olds, and it did have educational content. So it's not always the kiss of death. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. What else? So maybe I should tell you something about IPs. I've talked about ideas, I've talked about concepts, but I haven't really said what's the difference. And there is a difference, and it's actually quite important. What is an IP? Well, it's not the... What is intellectual property? So IP stands for intellectual property. And that's what everybody in these festivals and, for instance, or and that's what all the funders ask, what is your IP? So intellectual property is your series concept, but it's not just the idea, because as you might know, ideas are not protected by copyrights. So if you have this really great idea and you tell about it to everybody at, let's say, Cartoon Forum, then, but you haven't written it down anywhere, then people might steal it. Also, they might steal it anyway, because the idea can be taken. So you have to be fairly quick in getting your show done or produced. And it does happen that people take elements from one concept that are not protected, and then they put them into their own concept in slightly different formats. And nothing can be done about that, because that's only the basic idea that has been borrowed. So to hinder the like your idea getting stolen, you will start by writing it down as a synopsis, as was already said earlier. Then you get into the thing about doing the pitch Bible. And we'll talk about the pitch Bible in the afternoon. Pretty soon my throat is too dry to talk anymore, but I'm getting to the end now, by the way. Yeah, so you write the pitch Bible, but sometimes even that is not enough. or that's what I've heard. You need to write the whole series Bible, which is usually longer. Pitch Bible is typically, well, 12 to 20 pages. A series Bible could be 40 pages long or longer. But then what's most important is that you start writing the actual episodes, the scripts for the episodes. Once you have done that, once you're in that phase, then the copyright really starts running for you. I mean, then you have the copyrights. So my tip is get into the script writing phase as quickly as possible. Production companies don't always like this. So if you have a production company that you know well, then they might want to say, yeah, let's wait a while. Don't write the script yet. Don't write it yet. But for a creator, it's smarter to write the episode scripts as soon as possible. But then again, you have to be ready to change them, because the funders will have a lot to say. They will have a lot of things they want to change, and most of it will make also sense. Some of it won't, but yeah. I mean, if you are putting your own money into something, then you want to have some say in the content. That's understandable. Okay, so do you have to register your IP somewhere after you have written your scripts and made your pitch Bibles and script Bible series Bibles? No, in the European Union, you don't have to register your IP anywhere. As soon as, because that's how the copyright laws work here. As soon as you put your name under the thing that you have created, and it is more than an idea, then you will have the copyright for it. And that's also one reason why I have written everywhere in all the tasks that don't forget your names. Always put your names. Okay, questions at this point? When do we eat? Okay, so I'll stop the sharing now, and I'll also stop the recording.